Thank you for tuning into this week's edition of Stop, Look, and Listen. I'm your host, LaTroy Gardner. This week we have author, entrepreneur, and philanthropist, Tronda G. Welcome to the show, Tronda.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. So Tronda is the author of Affirmations for You, by You. In stores now?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Not really, not yet. It's actually, we're working on getting them, but they're available. They're available via my website. I will be putting them on there. I'm just waiting to get some stuff put on the back of it, the ISBN, put it on the back of the book.
Cool. So we'll talk about Affirmations for You, by You a little later, but Tronda has an amazing story of perseverance, and her testimony will touch us all. So we definitely want to shed light on that journey as well. So trying to just speak about your childhood and some of the fond memories.
All right. Speak about the childhood and some of my fond memories.
Yeah, let's get that out of the way first.
Okay. Well, I was born in a little town, Turtle, Texas, where Jamie Foxx is from. Of course, if you know, well, you don't know my story, but long story short, I grew up with that whole, my mom divorcing my dad kind of thing, due to abuse, more or less. And then my mom remarried. We wound up moving to California, and that's where I got into the situation where we were homeless. Me getting dressed in back of U-Hauls and taking wash-offs and going back to the homeless shelter after schools. And then we went from there to where I graduated high school from a homeless shelter as well. And from that journey, I went from, that's my childhood. You said childhood, what else?
Yeah, childhood, the fond memories. But you touched on the fact that you grew up in a household where your dad was abusive to your mom.
Yes.
And
I think I forgot the fond part.
Yeah.
And I started focusing on the childhood part of what I've been talking about all day. So I'm sorry, but yeah, my fond parts, I would say I enjoyed just being a kid, being able to ride bikes and be outside hanging up on trees and stuff like that, racing each other down the streets.
All right. Kind of. So were you the only child?
You could say that to a degree. I had a younger brother, or have a younger brother. He was in and out of jail or in and out of detention centers. Mm-hmm. So I grew up pretty much by myself with my family.
Okay.
Because he was in and out of trouble all the time. So it was just my mom.
So you spoke of the abusive nature of the relationship between your parents, and it led to him eventually shooting your mom?
Oh, you want to talk about that? Okay. You said fond. Did you say fond earlier?
Well, we sort of kind of moved past the fond memories, I think.
Yes.
To touch on the reality of everything else.
Okay, when I was 6 months old, my mom basically gave me a story. This is how everything kind of happens. She had me on her shoulder, and she laid me down, and there was blood on me, and she thought it was me bleeding. And she was like, she said she was looking and looking, and then she saw blood started dripping onto me, and that's when she realized she was like, it was her that was bleeding. And she turns around, and my biological father basically had shot her. He shot her in the neck. And so with that being said, it's like she was holding me when she got shot. And so she didn't even know she had been shot until she turned around and saw the gun in her face, basically. And she was with him for 7 years, and then she got a divorce finally. But he was very abusive. I mean, during that time, my little brother was there, and I remember times when it was pretty rough, because my little brother, and that's probably one of the reasons why he's in the detention centers, was because of the fact that, he felt like he needed to protect my mom. Mm-hmm. So at a young age, and he was no more than 5 or 6 years old. So him getting thrown across rooms and mm, hiding behind chairs and just crazy different things. So she finally left him.
Um, Very courageous of her. And so after she finally left, you all ended up going where?
To California, where she was, where we were again, like, wound up being in homeless shelters and whatnot. Um,
Okay.
Moved there when I remember my first day of school. Like I say, I was getting dressed in the back of the U-Haul and washing my face and picking my clothes out from the drawers and the hangers that on the wall. I mean, in there because it wasn't on hangers. I'm sorry, it was bags. So we had to dig through the bag. I'm sorry, and I had drawers that I was inside digging in to see what I need to pull out because we didn't
Okay.
drawers.
All right. Well, speak on some of the lessons learned while you were in the homeless shelter.
Lessons learned while in a homeless shelter. My biggest thing is that I knew that this was just temporary.
Uh-huh.
Nobody could tell me different. It's like I knew that this is just part of life that I'm supposed to be living.
Right.
Um, like I'm going through this, but I don't know how long I'm gonna be in it, but I know that it's supposed to be happening, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I knew that it was temporary. There was really not many lessons learned outside of the fact that, I mean, what kind of lessons? Like you moving every 30 days, you're going through the chat line. What kind of lessons? I don't really know what kind of lessons that I learned out of the shelters, you know.
Yeah. But it fueled you, obviously.
hmm
It fueled you. And like, was that when you started coming up with affirmations? Was while you were in a
Oh,
homeless shelter?
I wound up coming up with affirmations like later on in my life.
Okay.
And so those things came when I was able to understand where I needed to focus.
Mm-hmm.
Like affirmations for me have always been a way of like healing. It allowed me to kind of focus my journey in regards to the things that I'm looking to do.
Right.
On Basically when it came to my understanding with my life. I realized at a young age that, you know, what I spoke and what I was thinking, that stuff came true
Mm-hmm.
at times. Whether it be like when we was in homeless shelters, per se, I would be times when my mom them needed money for like this, for me to be able to catch the bus at the time. And I remember like my coach, she wound up giving me $20, for me to be able to catch that bus back and forth. I realized there were times when, you know, my dad, we didn't have things like, we didn't have money. So we would always, in my head, I was like, it will come, it will come and it came. So anyway, yeah. I mean, I've been a manifester, I believe, for a long, long, long time, you know.
Great. Great. So you attended San Francisco State University and
Yep.
received your degree in sociology. What was your plan at that point? And when did you decide you wanted to move to Atlanta?
Okay, my plan at the point of graduating with my degree in sociology, um, now this was after babies, so I had children at the time, and I felt the need to just get my degree, so I got my
Mm-hmm.
degree, and then I moved to Atlanta, uh, because I saw people look like me that was successful. That's how I wound up coming here. It was gonna be New York, Florida, or Atlanta. I said Miami or Atlanta, and I came here because there was people who looked like me that
Mm-hmm.
I saw that was successful. And so I'm a visual person, so I want to follow my vision.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I've always said that Atlanta is the land of opportunities for minorities. So,
I
um,
used to 16 years ago. How long? I mean, 16 years ago when I first came, I called it Black Hollywood.
uh-huh.
When we was going through migrating through California, I remember my dad had a cousin that lived in L.A. and it was it's different, Hollywoodish. You know what I mean? That's how it was. It was like that I could hear some of the stuff. I don't know if you know what I mean by people being able to know when people BSing you.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of was the kind of thing I felt with them. It was like, man, y'all, whatever, y'all ain't got it like that. That kind of
Right.
thing.
Which that is the case with LA. It's almost like everyone is striving to make it. And you don't know, like they could be working in restaurants or bars
Absolutely.
and then they're like, no, I'm on a set of this movie. And like, no, you're probably just an extra. Like,
Absolutely,
yeah.
exactly. So it's like, yeah, from back when I was like, oh yeah, nah, man, I remember it so well. It was like these people ain't got all the money that they say they have, or they don't really have it like that. Because I remember sleeping on the floor, and it was just like, this doesn't seem like the kind of money that you're supposed to have, and you got people sleeping on the floor,
Mm.
and so yeah, definitely different.
All right. So when you arrived in Atlanta, did you find a job first and then you ended up homeless, or were you homeless again and then found a job? How did
Okay,
how did that play out?
that was my third time being homeless in my life, and I didn't have a job. I found a job when I got here, and when I came here, like I said, I drove here in my lime green Chevy, '87 Chevy Suburban, and I had $50 in my pocket, and um I ain't know nobody. I didn't know how I was going to live, so I was in and out of my truck. Um, I had a friend that had a website. I mean, that was dealing with one of my websites at the time. He had a friend that had a room, and that's where I stayed on and off between for about 6 weeks before I got me a job that was paying me a salary
Right.
of $2,400 a month.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean, but so did you have the same mindset that you had before when you was homeless, as far as this is just a temporary setback?
Absolutely. It's
Okay.
not even a setback. I never look at my journey as a setback ever, because
Uh,
it's like I looked at it as though this is just a part of my life. I felt like any and everything that I've been through is because I'm supposed to go through it. Now, how I will go through it made so much of a difference, meaning like I wasn't like, I didn't see myself as like it was necessarily bad. Does that make
right.
sense?
Hmm.
So it's like it was like one of those journeys where I'll go through it, and it is what it is. It's like
Yeah.
this is supposed to be happening right now.
Yeah.
Nothing,
What's meant to be will be.
yeah.
Hmm.
And that's how I looked at it. And I've been that way. I feel like I've been told I was an old soul from a long, and I keep going back to my youth when I was younger. I was one of the ones that they say you sound like you're about 40 years old, but we know you're only 10
Right.
because of my conversations, and it would be um, more spiritual than anything, and not understanding what that meant till now. As I got older, I understood exactly what was being said. But yeah, I've been an old soul for a long time, so I definitely saw things as being temporary,
Hmm.
forever, very easy.
So how like how strong was your like spiritual foundation, especially with everything that you encountered as a kid? Did it ever waver, or was it like firmly set?
Well, the thing about it, uh, I guess I can talk to you about this because some people I can't say this to. I was questioning in the Bible,
Hmm.
and I was questioning a man up front in the church. My grandmama told me, she said, Tronda, you can't do that. That's blasphemy. You can't question the Bible. And I said, Grandma, but how can that man in this book tell me how to live my life? And and that was at the ripe old age of 8 years old. So I've been asking those questions for a long time. So my mom she didn't really like tell me that I couldn't ask the question. She let me be let me be who I was. Like I've
Hmm.
always been, even though I've been down, I've always been up. Meaning like wherever my endeavors were, we'll say like um when I was as in high school, we'll say I was always class president, I was student council, I was um advanced classes at AP classes. Even when I was homeless, I was still advanced classes. I was still it's just I was in AP classes when I was homeless. Um, I was still maintain a degree of like where I was captain of the teams and stuff like that. Somebody coming into somebody's school new, only being in there for 6 months, and you're making it up. You're basically being people out of positions. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and so I've always had that mindset of like, no matter what, if it's what I'm going for, I'm going for it. So
Hmm.
I have not changed that. You know, I had that situation happen to where it was changed. It left me for about 3 months in my life, and that's when my son passed away.
Ooh,
And I got it back, but it took me about 3 months to really realize where I was at. So that God got it,
okay.
spirit got it, energy.
Wow.
Mm.
So when did the momentum like finally start to swing in your favor, you feel?
I don't know if you realizing this yet, but I've been very confident for a long, long time. So, hmm, I never felt sorry for myself. Like, so sway in my favor, it was just a matter of time,
Yeah.
you know? It's just a matter of time. It's like when it's, I know it's coming. I just don't
Hmm.
know when. And that's what I will always say. I know my time is coming. I just don't know when. There was times when I might cry in my vehicle and be like, I know my time is coming. I just don't know when. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know it's coming, you know? So the turning point when things started, I guess, waning in my favor is when I got with my husband, my husband now. We've been together for going on 14 years. And as we develop in life together, I found out that, having a partner made a difference. That did make a difference, because somebody else seeing the same visual or have the same strength that you have, or
Hmm.
better yet, his spirituality might have not matched mine in the beginning, but now it completely matches mine. You know what I mean? Like it's when you have that kind of energy, somebody pushing you to push you up there. My parents couldn't do it; they didn't know how to. So, but seeing him in his life and seeing where his family has come from and what they've been able to achieve in their world, where he's been when he's been with me, the downside of like life where we're living from to basically pay the to pay you pay your rent. You mean you pay your credit card to pay your rent kind of thing. To keep it from uh, you know, like you use the same money to pay two different things. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Hmm.
So, it's that kind of thing, that kind of energy to where you have somebody that's helping boost you more. And that's where I think that's where things change for me, is because I found somebody who's basically like my pea in my pod with
Okay.
me.
Cool. So you ended up starting G Life, Sharon,
GHI. Hmm.
GHI.
With my
All right.
yeah, with me and my husband. That's
All right. So
something that
tell me
we
about
base.
it.
Okay, we have a home health care company. We have about 100 employees. We have 100 staff. I mean, 100 families, more or less. And then we basically we started out. We did host homes. We had individuals in the homes of families, and it would be like we would train families to take care of these individuals. Now we have staff going out to the family's homes, and it's a little different. It's a bigger range of business that you can create, and it's easier. It helps a lot more people be employed as well. But we started this business about 12 years ago,
Uh-huh.
and this is where we are now.
Yeah,
So,
I had a part-time job similar to that with this company called Arc of the Triangle, where
mhm.
I would work with teenagers with developmental disabilities, kind of providing support. And it
Mhm.
was probably one of the most rewarding experiences of my life.
And
I
it's
would tell people that I felt like um, I learned more from it than they did. So,
absolutely.
and it was almost like I was part of their family. Um,
That's what we do now. That's
uh-huh.
exactly what we do now. We basically have individuals that goes into the homes of the families, and that's what I actually tell them. It's called GHI life sharing. It's GHI home care, but we actually want it to be GHI life sharing, to where you're sharing your life with this family, and that's the mentality that we have our people take. You
Okay.
know, helping
No,
hand. Mhm.
no. Salute to you and your staff for the amazing work, I'm sure.
Absolutely. They work
No.
with us, not for us. We work together to make this business happen. Okay.
And I mean, I know it's exhausting and around the clock too, but I mean, it's
Yes, it
so
is.
rewarding.
I'm looking at all these little messages popping up.
Yeah.
Pop up.
So you made the news cycle like around the holidays for
Oh,
some of your philanthropic work.
yes.
Um, I read about you going to a Atlanta area Kroger and handing out some gift cards.
Yes,
Uh, just
sir.
just talk about what led you, because obviously during the pandemic and the holidays, there's a lot of people in need. So how did that make you feel?
It felt great, but I'm gonna tell you, I do it, or we do this all year long.
Uh huh.
Like we give all year long, but we don't never talk about it.
Right.
So this just happened to be caught and saw, because it was with a group of us. It was a lot of us together. So I think that's the difference, or the dynamic, is because we do this all year long. I mean, I tell you about a lot of things we do, from buying cars for friends, from our employees doing things from honeymoons, that kind of thing. We do a lot for a lot of people, different people. I mean, from my mom, we retired her, and my dad, they don't even work anymore. That kind of thing. So we in our church is completely happy. They don't have to worry about a whole lot of anything. So, this we've been doing this for a long, long time too. So it just happened to be caught. So it made us feel really good. At the same time, they caught us doing it. I didn't think it was. We didn't know that it was gonna catch fire like that. It
Right.
wasn't. It wasn't done for a publicity. It was done because that's just naturally who we are.
Hmm.
You know.
Yep,
I
paying
mean,
it forward.
yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you so much where our accountant be like, "Hey, you can't write off this much stuff." That's
Right.
what he tell. I can't believe y'all actually give this much money to your church. Yes, those are kind of questions that we get. But now we're gonna try to. We just created our nonprofit. We're gonna eventually figure out how to do it to make it work, where we can actually do more. Because I understand that the more we give, the more we're able to give out too. So we're looking to do that. It's just one of those things we love giving. It's beautiful. It's like to see a person smile because they unexpectedly received something that you already looking at as though, oh, well, it's yours now, you know? Doing things like, I mean, I can't even begin to tell you. We do a lot. I don't want to boost my, to my own horn and them, but I'm just saying we do a lot,
Right.
a lot. Anybody who knows us know that how we are.
So, kind of continuing in that spirit of giving and putting a smile on other people's faces. Tell us about affirmations for you by you, and
Okay.
importance of having that unwavering faith coupled with ambition and perseverance.
But I love how y'all be throwing these questions out like that. Like I don't remember all of that. I mean, I barely remember half of that conversation.
Well, the
What
book
book?
and the like what you live by as far as the patience, the perseverance, and the ambition.
All right, well, the book Affirmations for You by You, that is basically, I created that because I've been doing affirmations for over 15 years. For should I say for a long time. A lot of stuff I've been doing for a long time because I've been old for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like one of those things where I don't really affirmations been around forever. I have one affirmation I've been reading for 15 years, the same one.
Hmm.
I have another one that I read every morning. I have time and just sit aside and just read affirmations catered to what my understanding is or how I want to feel that morning. So anyway, I I created this book to basically allow people to create affirmations that work for them. The whole point of it is being is affirmations created for you by you. I am not creating these affirmations for you. You're writing them out. You're creating them. All I'm doing is giving you a template, a base, a form, a format to be able to create the energy, or you focus around the energy that you're trying to pursue. Um, Again, I use an example of like instead of it being something like a lot of times uh, people say I wrote an affirmation this morning and it says I am joy or I am joyful. To me, that is a one liner. That is a feeling. That is an
Hmm.
emotion. For me, affirmations are lines and thoughts put together with that motion and that feeling, with some kind of a focus for what it is you're trying to achieve, where you're trying to grow and where you're trying to heal. You know,
Okay.
so that's where it comes from. It's like it's not my book. It's your book.
Okay.
I'm just giving you a focus. I'm just then you put it in a place of focus, like making you dig deeper in regards to what you're trying to achieve. Because I also provide a word bank for you to use too.
Okay. So one affirmation that I saw on your Instagram page,
Mhm.
I am confident. I create my own joy and happiness. I live in a world that is a direct reflection of what I want to be, and it is beautiful and absolutely amazing.
Yep, that was created by this book. Yes.
So what's today's affirmation? You have one for today
Mhm. It's up there. It's up there.
for the listeners to.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me. It's
Okay.
on my. You can check it out.
Okay.
You can read
Well,
it.
then we'll just go
It
with
says,
another one that you had. I can create and grow. When I
uh-huh,
forgive and focus on my joy, my life is
hmm
good.
absolutely.
Okay. So
And these are things. These are all mine
uh-huh.
creations. Now, someone else using that same template, theirs might be completely different. Like when you read it, you're reading it because that's where I am. I love to put out the fact that I am in control. I
Right.
love to put out my world is beautiful. Those are my words. Somebody else might be like, my world is free. My world is full of riches. That kind of thing. You are able to create that flow for what you understand and what you're trying to create for yourself.
Right.
Meaning like you can push it in this direction or you can push it in that direction. It's up to
Mhm.
you.
Okay. So, quickly, what's next for you, besides the book? And do you see your life story turning into a movie one day? Because I can.
You just got to get on the right platform. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Like for the movie part, what's next for me is just to continue to push, like, I guess, continually take my life and hopefully help other people. Um, I never looked at it like that before until somebody actually told me that trying you're being very selfish by not letting people see and know where you came from. And I personally was not going to be that person and talk about my life because it's in my past. You know, I leave the past in the past. I'm not going to turn around and look back at it because it's not helping me necessarily. But because it's helping other people, I am willing to take it off of the shelf and bring it down to help other people. And that's what's next is me getting over the fact that I got to quit being so selfish and let people live into my look into my world and know that it's helping other people.
Okay.
And as far as the movie's concerned, yeah, it could definitely be a movie. I had no idea. It's a bunch.
It's a lot. I mean, I
Boy,
didn't even get into your fact that you haven't, seen your kids
I hadn't
in a
seen my
while.
kids in 10 years.
Yeah.
I've seen them now. My oldest, he's with me. He's
Hmm.
here. Um, my youngest, she's not here with me. She's still with the family. But she'll be coming. She don't know that though. You'll learn something about me. It's like that's me affirming right now. I've been
Right.
affirming like they will come back to me no matter what they other people did to me to make it to where they didn't understand. Meaning like my oldest, he basically explained to me a lot of the life that he was told that I basically left him there and I came to Atlanta and left, but what he didn't realize is like even when I was in Atlanta, I was pursuing them and I was calling and I was talking and I was going down there to see them. But long story short, at a young age, you don't know what's happening. You know what I mean? So he basically thought I left him there because that's what they told him. And
Hmm.
and there was a lot of things they told him. And then he's coming here and he's realizing that no, that's not the truth. My mom is nothing like what you're saying she is. Or he's like, you're not anything like they said you were. And he's mad at his family. He's mad at his dad and his stepmom for this. And long story short, I mean, I know who I am.
Right.
I know what I've done and I know where I've been. And with my children, I did not see them for 10 years until the funeral of my middle child.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So, feel free to plug whatever you need to plug, your socials, the book, anything else you have going on. And then if you want to leave us with some more inspiring words, then feel free to do so.
Okay. Well, you can get my book www dot mrsghi, that's mrsghi.com. And my IG is um at mrs.ghi. And that's the only thing I have right now. I do have a Facebook, but I don't have nothing on it for Miss GHI. And I like to leave everybody with the fact that my whole acronym is Grow, Heal, Inspire. When you affirm your life, you're consistently growing into that journey. Affirmations also are things that heal you on a daily basis. And if they're healing you, you can then turn around and be inspired by your own journey because you're no longer worried about that process anymore. So that's the whole point of Grow, Heal, Inspire, and the fact that I think everybody would be able to live a really, really productive life, a really positive life, if they understood how much this mental health helps. Mental health helps when it
All
comes to
right.
that journey. Hmm.
Beautiful. Well, Tronda, thank you for your time. Make sure you get affirmations for you by you, and follow beautiful example of perseverance and success and overcoming all kinds of heartache. So, with that said, continue pushing forward, continue being a blessing to others. And I look forward to coming up with my own affirmations.
Absolutely. You're gonna get that book, and I want you to send me your first one so I can see what you did. Okay,
Okay.
see if I want to steal it. I might
I
like
got
it.
you.
I might want to use it.
I got you. I have some in my head right now, but yeah, we'll put something together and I'll get it to you.
All right, sounds good.
All
All
right.
right,
Well, for Stop, Look, and Listen, I'm your host, LaTroy Gardner. See you next week. Peace and blessings.
bye.
Thank you for checking us out on YouTube, and be sure to subscribe for more great content. And don't forget to check out our website at GOBradionetwork.com.